In what is possibly the most unbelievable trade in NBA history, the Dallas Mavericks have sent Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers in a trade that is so bad that it actually, in a strange way, might benefit the Raptors. And I'll explain why in today's video. Let's get into it. Please forgive me because on the surface, this is not a Raptors topic for a Raptors channel, but this is a conversation around the NBA that is so huge that I just have to get my thoughts out on it. If you stick around until later in the video, I'll explain how it actually does relate back to the Toronto Raptors. But this is Amateur Sports, the YouTube channel typically dedicated to Toronto Raptors content and videos like this and live streams on the channel. Drop a like if you enjoyed this video along the way and make sure you're subscribed as well for more content just like it. And my goodness, we are in the wake of what truly is an astonishing trade, an unbelievable trade. It took like 20 to 30 minutes for just everyone to actually believe that this trade took place. That's how crazy it was. In the late night hours, Shams reported that the Dallas Mavericks were sending out Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, Markieff Morris to the Lakers in exchange for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first-round pick via the Lakers. Also, the Utah Jazz got themselves involved in this deal. You know, Danny Ainge. And my goodness, could you imagine being the Jazz? Be like, wait, we're the third team in what trade? But the Jazz ended up getting Jalen Hood-Schifino, like decent young guard to work with, and 2 second-round picks for what it's worth. So, yeah, Shams had to double confirm on Twitter that he wasn't hacked and that this was, in fact, a real trade. That's how unbelievable it was because, like, looking at this trade, what on earth were the Dallas Mavericks thinking? Like, what actually were they thinking? It is truly astonishing. I have tried and tried and tried. I spent 2 hours in the early hours trying to figure it out when this trade broke. I woke up trying to figure this out. I have no idea what the Dallas Mavericks are doing in this situation. Luka Doncic is a top 4 most untradeable player in the NBA. He's top 4 with Jokic, Giannis, Wemby, and himself. As in, like, there is no trade that you can make that would satisfy this. Like, you could offer up Jokic and Giannis, and you might still say no. Like, maybe Wemby. I think you kind of have to say yes to Wembanyama trade, so maybe Wembanyama is the most untradeable player in the NBA. But, like, 1 first-round pick and Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is 31, about to turn 32. Luka Doncic is 25 years old. He's going to turn 26 later this month, but Luka Doncic is 25 years old and is one of the most valuable assets I think the league has ever seen. And they got Anthony Davis and a first-round pick, and a first-round pick via the Lakers in 2029, by the way. Via the Lakers. You just made the Lakers infinitely better for the future. Like, these Lakers picks were valuable in trade because the theory was LeBron's 40, Anthony Davis is always injured, and he's 31. The Lakers are going to get worse, and those picks are going to be valuable. Those picks are a lot less valuable now that Luka Doncic is leading this team for the next generation. Like, if you're Dallas, honestly, in a hypothetical situation where the Lakers actually have their picks, all their picks, if you as Dallas were offered Anthony Davis, 3 first-round picks, and 2 pick swaps, I think you still have to say no if you're Dallas. Like, imagine a trade that is so bad that nobody actually believes it's real, and people thought that the most credible source of NBA information was hacked. That's how bad this trade was. I can't even imagine being on the Dallas side of this one as a fan. Like, Scotty Barnes is not Luka Doncic. I'm not claiming that, okay? He probably never will be Luka Doncic, okay? But just imagine it right now. Scotty Barnes' current abilities, Anthony Davis, and a 2029 first-round pick. That would be bad for Scotty Barnes, with all due respect to Scotty Barnes. I love Scotty Barnes, but he's not Luka Doncic. We're talking about Luka Doncic in this scenario here. Truly, like, I don't really understand. I just, what are you doing, Dallas? Dallas Mavericks general manager Nico Harrison has talked about a few things about what went into this trade. It seemed like, first of all, they didn't want to pay Luka Doncic a supermax, which is like, you've got a potential future MVP here. Like, what else is worth a supermax? So there was conversations around that. There's no indication that Luka wanted out. He was locked in on Dallas, ready to go for a supermax, and Dallas, it was by their own admission that they wanted to trade him. They talked about wanting more defense for their team because defense wins championships, even though, hey, that Luka guy got you to the NBA Finals last year with a team that didn't really have any business getting there. And he's been to a conference finals previously with another team that didn't really have any business being there. And he talked about Luka's conditioning. Well, listen, Luka's conditioning was good enough, again, to carry your ass to a conference final and let alone an NBA Finals last year. Like, Dallas's championship odds have decreased by a decent amount here. They are worse. Like, I don't mind the fit of Anthony Davis with Kyrie Irving. Like, I think that's nice. You know, you've got two bigs, so Anthony Davis can play as the 4, but, you know, now you lose out on PJ Washington at the 4. Now you have significantly decreased your scoring output, and you have very much decreased your spacing output. Like, Dallas, you like, some people are trying to spin it like, okay, well, at least in the short term, like, maybe this makes Dallas better. Like, it doesn't. Dallas are worse because it's trade, because you just lost one of the best players, a top 5 player in the entire league. You made your team worse by making this trade and sacrificed so much of your future. Like, the Lakers have just walked into another generational talent here. For the Lakers, we'll talk about them. Like, this phone call had to last 10 seconds. Dallas offered the Lakers Luka Doncic. Nobody else was offered Doncic. This is just the Lakers. So Nico Harrison, Mavericks GM, went to the Lakers with this deal. The Lakers must have been like, really? You want to give us Luka? Oh, okay. Like, what did that conversation even look like? You know, like I said, Dallas should not have traded Luka. But, like, listen, you talk about Kitchen, like, this guy's so good. Like, you hire him a chef before you trade him. You know what I mean? If him being fat's a problem, like, hire a chef, hire a conditioning coach. Trading him was not the answer. But if they were hell bent on trading him, oh my God, how did this become the deal? Like, how did they not go to Houston with all the picks Houston have, all the young players Houston have? Okay, how did they not go to the Spurs with all the picks that the Spurs have? Like, how did they not go to anyone else other than the Lakers with this? Just an extraordinary mishandling of assets from the Dallas Mavericks. But the Lakers here, fit-wise, this is clunky. I'm going to be honest here. They don't have a center other than Jackson Hayes, Christian Koloko. That's obviously not going to cut it. Defensively, the Lakers are going to get worse. I think the Luka fit next to LeBron is a little clunky as well. Like, two major ball handling players. Like, it's a little bit clunky there, but it's a no-brainer. Like, it is Luka freaking Doncic, okay? You get Luka Doncic for one pick and Anthony Davis. You figure out the rest later, okay? This is a trade that you have to make if you're the Lakers. And look, there's work to do for this season to figure this out, because there's a lack of shooting for this team still, and the lack of defense. Obviously, like, no starting center for this team, right? But you figure this out absolutely later. And even if it doesn't go well, listen, even if this season just doesn't work out, you are taken care of for maybe the next 10 years with your superstar player to build around. Teams who tank every year on a year-to-year basis are looking for a player like anything close to Luka Doncic to lead their team for the next generation. Dallas had that player and moved him. The Lakers just had him fall into their laps. It makes me sick as a Raptors fan. But hey, I mentioned the Lakers have work to do to make this work in the short term. Are the Toronto Raptors a team that could profit on here? I just spoke about the Lakers needing some additional assets, and specifically I spoke about the Lakers needing a starting center. Well, the Raptors should be in sell mode at this point and should look to the Lakers, who should be, well, a little bit more desperate at this point to make something happen, to make this team work in the short term for a 40-year-old LeBron James. Jakob Poeltl could be a player that is on their radar. So if the Lakers are shopping for center, what can they actually offer here for Poeltl? What's even crazier about this Doncic trade, okay? You might think, like, the Lakers just gave what they could, okay? They had to give up Max Christie, decent player, but, like, they had to give up their pick. The Lakers have another pick to trade. Okay? The Lakers have another pick, another first-round pick. They sent the 2029 pick to Dallas. They still have a tradable 2031 first-round pick. And Dallas didn't get it in the trade. Did they even ask for it? The Lakers would have said yes. They would have said yes to it. They would have agreed to give the 2031 pick to Dallas. Surely, if it meant getting Luka Doncic, would they have not? So that pick, I mean, hey, could the Raptors be the team to get that pick? Because if the Lakers do want to get Jakob Poeltl, there's actually a couple ways they could go about it. And actually, one of these scenarios actually does not include that pick, and it could be of interest for the players. But let's look, first of all, at what the trade would have to look like, including that first-round pick. So 2031 Lakers pick, a week ago I would have told you, extraordinarily valuable. Now, I don't really know. But hey, it's still a first-round pick that could be worth taking on, especially if you get a decent player alongside it. The decent player alongside in this scenario is, look, it's probably a guy the Lakers want to keep for shooting, but there's got to be some value coming back the Raptors' way here. Dalton Connect, if he's on the table, yes, please. The Raptors are in desperate need of some additional shooting, and getting a guy who's only 23 years old to come in and help do that, that's great. You get Rui Hachimura, another decent player the Raptors could use for salary matching purposes. And hey, the Lakers, I mean, like, I'm not really somebody who wants to trade Jakob Poeltl, but this is a really nice trade for the Raptors that will help them. Now, obviously, the next task the Raptors would be going to chase a center elsewhere for themselves, but that could be handled in the offseason, hopefully. But I think there's enough value here to strongly consider making this trade. And like I said, there's an opportunity here that, hey, Lakers, you can keep that pick to use in other trades. I think there's a reality where we can make this trade work without that 2031 first-round pick being involved. Jakob Poeltl once again goes to the Lakers on his own, but the Raptors could take back Dalton Connect, who I'm a fan of and really liked going into that draft last year. And now Austin Reeves could be on the table. Austin Reeves, with 2.5 years left on his deal, like making less than $15 million. Like, that is an extraordinary contract. And I think that brings in some scoring and some shooting that will really help the Raptors. I've tossed in Christian Wood for salary matching purposes to make this trade work. There's a few guys that could be in this trade. But like, essentially, like, Raptors are getting like a couple of really good guards here in Dalton Connect and Austin Reeves for Jakob Poeltl. I think that's going to help them. They still have to go get a center elsewhere, but this is a trade that I would strongly consider as well from a Toronto Raptors perspective if the Lakers are interested in Poeltl. That's the thing here. If the Lakers really just need a center, this could be the one for them and Jakob Poeltl. And like, if the Raptors get a deal like this, I'd be happy to take it. Listen, I'm happy to keep Poeltl. I've continued to say that, but for the right trade, I'm also happy to move him. The Lakers may not see him as their guy. With Doncic and LeBron, you really need a center who can space the floor if you can. And if not, you really need a center who's a lob threat. Poeltl's unfortunately neither of those things, so it's not quite a great fit for the Lakers. But defensively it is, and if this is the best option for them to go with, like I said, like I'm pretty comfortable with either of these trade scenarios here. So, yeah. If the Lakers need some extra players, look, we've got Poeltl, we've got Boucher, we've got Brown, we've got Olynyk, like 4 guys who might be able to help the Lakers this season in the short term, and perhaps the Raptors could snatch some assets here. One of those assets maybe a guy who went in the middle of the first round of last year's draft who had definitely had top 10 overall pick upside. So, yeah, just crazy situation. Wow. Seeing Luka in the purple and gold that is going to be weird. I feel for you, Dallas fans. I do. I saw Twitter. I saw the subreddit. I went to the subreddit last night. Yeah, like, I'd be mad if the Raptors did this with Scotty Barnes, let alone Luka freaking Doncic, man. This is crazy. Yeah, this will probably go down as maybe but one of the, at least, worst trades in NBA history. I can't see any other way about it. Dallas got worse in the short term and long term. Lakers have generational superstar fall into their lap. Wow. Oh, what it would be. It would be nice to be a Lakers fan sometimes, wouldn't it? But hey, Raptors fans, we can still capitalize on this. We shall see. What did you make of the trade when it broke? What do you make of it now? Give me all your thoughts and opinions on it in the comments down below. That's it for me for today's video. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more Raptors content in the future. I'll see you next time for another video.